Hello, it's time to do an episode of Go Talk. Today I have one of my favorite teachers, Guo Juan. Hi, Guo Juan.
Hi, nice to see you on Skype.
Yes. I've known Guo Juan for a long time, since I think the Houston Go Congress, which was in 2002. And uh,
That's right.
you've been a really good teacher, and you've had
Thank
so many
you.
experiences teaching. So I really want to talk about teaching Go, learning Go, and all the different experiences. Welcome to the show. I haven't done one in a long time, so hopefully this will go well.
Thank you to help me to have me here.
Yeah. So let's start with just sort of your background. You learned Go in China, so I'm
Yes.
sort of really curious what it's like to learn Go in China, like maybe the types of people who do it, and sort of what they're expecting when they learn Go.
Um, it's different. Um, yeah, the by the time. So when I was learning Go, that time Go was still forbidden in China,
Hmm.
and I learned it in the countryside, in the mountains actually, where my father was being sent to a camp.
Hmm.
So these are all very well educated people,
Hmm.
mostly university teachers, and so there are some people play Go. So I learned. I was 9 years old. I learned from one of the math teachers there actually.
Oh.
So, but yeah, when I come back to the city, the Go was still forbidden, but very soon, the Go school started again, and this is how I started. But nowadays, there are a lot of Go schools in China,
Hmm.
so the children very easy to choose the Go schools. Do you want to know how the Go schools work nowadays?
Yeah, are they mostly, I mean, so most people who learn Go now, are they just going to be children or are they going to be adults now?
I think mostly children. In China, there are a lot of adults play Go, although you don't see them on the street. Um, I would say the most population adult Go players are learn this game during 1980s. So that time was the China-Japan super match.
Oh.
Before the Japanese were much stronger,
Hmm.
and then. Um, because of this hero, Liu Weiping, and also like American players know Zhu Jiu, those players,
Hmm.
and they beat the Japanese up. So that was a big thing in China. So attract a lot of young people, especially high school kids and university students. And this group of people are now, I think, the base of the adult players.
I
And
see.
then, of course, and um, the children nowadays, the children play Go is that time was because was fascinating how the Chinese beating Japanese. So those young people play Go,
Mm.
and nowadays the young children play Go is because Go is one of the four forms of arts in China, right?
Hmm.
History, thousands of years. So琴棋书画. Okay, so that is music. Go is the second one, so it's very high.
Mm.
Uh, Su is calligraphy.
Hmm.
Hua is painting. So that is the highest arts. So that Chinese family they like their children play Go. It's like education. It's not immediately want their children to become professional. Not at all.
Oh, okay.
It's like in the West, you send your kids to play music, right?
Mm.
To learn violin or
Piano or something.
piano or same idea.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, so most times when people are sending their kids to learn Go, it's just so they have something, it's sort of like an extra hobby that helps their mind.
Exactly. It's education. It's a education. I would say the Asian, especially Chinese families, they pay very much attention and their energy and their money to their children's education. So Go
Right.
is a part of it.
Okay. And then eventually, sometimes maybe because I know the teachers might say, "Oh, your son or daughter's really good, do you want them to become professional? Then they make a decision.
Yes, yes, exactly. There are so many children play Go because the Chinese the population is large, right? So a
Hmm.
lot of children play Go. So come to the point, if they found the kid is talented, and
Hmm.
then the parents would think, oh, that's interesting, huh? They can become pro because nowadays the pro can become, how do you say, super rich, right?
Yeah.
So it's a profession. It's like become a movie star or a sports star, right?
Hmm.
So it's a profession. So it's very very different than the Western country now we have here is it's a hobby.
Hmm.
In Chinese way, not so many people talking about hobby. They talk about education for the children. They talk about the future, how it's good for their brain. How they talk like that. So once the kid has a chance, of course, the parents have to make this super hard decision because that means the child often have to give up school, and they are very, very young, right? They are 8 years old, 10 years
Mm.
old,
Right.
and plus they have to mainly send them to Beijing to the highest go schools there.
Oh, yeah.
Very few become pro without this, but mostly still you need to go to China, to Beijing, and that is very hard because it's super, super expensive.
Right.
Um, so often is one of the parents so who makes more money remains in the hometown
Hmm. Hmm.
to continue work make the money, and the other one goes with the child
Oh.
to Beijing to study Go. So that's
Oh.
a very hard decision. Of course, this also put a lot of pressure on the child because the child knows the parents is give up
Yeah.
their everything to support him. So that's why those kids, of course, one is they love the game, and the other ones really they work so hard because they wanted to, perform well for their parents.
So that's pretty cool, but I think it's interesting how it's different from maybe people who learn Go in the West. I guess we could say Europe and Americas. Like,
Mm.
we were talking about how they're hobbies, but also like, uh, based on the people you're teaching and then you come across, because I know you teach everywhere. I
Yes.
mean, what would be the age differences that you see, maybe the goal differences that you see, based on the different places you've taught?
Uh, you mean to compare between Asia and the Western country?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I think Western country there is no parents say you should learn this game. No, it's just the kids somewhere they found this game, their friends or online. Huh?
Mm.
Nowadays, of course, because all those online things, so the internet, so they found this game interesting, fascinating, and so they learn it. But I think the Western very little kids, mostly the parents play Go. So they bring them to Go party or Go tournaments so the kid play Go, right? In
Mm-hmm.
France, for example, there are a lot of kids play Go because they have this summer camp. So it's fun. Huh? It's a big, huge party for 2 weeks. So those kids go there, have their own parties. Yeah, even they have a little children group there. So even my son learn a lot there. So they just like that. The little kids are from the parents because they play Go.
Mm-hmm.
Still, the parents are not forcing them to play Go. It's really for fun here. And
Mm.
mostly, I think nowadays a lot of new players we got are the high school kids, I believe, and university students. And
Really?
they got it on the internet. So as I understood, nowadays, if you go to a Go club, you don't see many young kids or young players
Mm-hmm.
because the Go club to me is it's slow pace and but they play this game like a computer game on the internet. There are a lot of
Oh.
people on the internet to play this game, but in Asia are the little kids. It's because the parents think it's education. No,
Right.
that's a total difference. Here is a hobby. Asia is education.
Yeah, and I think that also the interesting thing about the hobby is the differences in goals. I know, like, I remember even at this Go Congress that was in Boston, some people from our European Go Congress showed up,
Mm,
and we talked about how the difference was between the European Go Congress and the American Go Congress. And
mm, mm,
they said the American Go Congress, it's more structured and people are really focused on learning, where they said, like, at the Europe Go Congress, people just drink and party and have a good time.
mm.
So I think
Yeah, very different. Yeah.
even within like the West, there's different goal differences, you think, or it's usually the same?
Yeah, between even in Europe, between the countries, I think very different. The people behavior on Go board is very very different. But talk about speak about this difference between U.S. Go Congress and European Go Congress because I've been to many of them.
Hmm.
I think that there are some a huge difference. Huh? Like just like you said, the Europeans are like parties, and Americans are really to learn. Huh? I think there's that's just what my opinion. Huh? My idea about. I also see this. It's interesting to understand why. Huh? Because I think Americans are. Very focused that when they do something they wanted to they're serious they learn it
Mm.
so they want to study so when they go there it's a great opportunity for them to study because there are a lot of pros around so you can
Mm.
get games reviewed and tons of lectures and I think there is another reason poor people don't really notice that it's in America people don't have many holidays.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
So when you work in a company, you have when you're young, you have maybe 2 weeks or something, huh?
Mm.
So if you spend 1 week, you really treat the time very, uh, that's my holiday, so I wanted to spend it well. So, this is a great opportunity to study Go. Huh? So they go there, and that's why that 1 week they are very serious about studying Go. In Europe, people have much more holidays.
Mm.
They have many more really. So they just go there, have fun, and they have no that
Pressure.
kind of urge. Oh, I have to do something with this time, right? Because they have more time, right? I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
that's
Mm.
interesting. Well, let's get to the one point that I'm really interested in, and learning Go is hard. I've
Right,
uh, I've
right.
I've learned it for about 10 something years. I started, about
Mm,
14 or 15 years now. Wow. But you've learned it for a lot of your life, and you've taught it to a lot of
mm,
different people. And we'll talk a little bit about your website in a second because I think it's really interesting, both because it's new and you just have so much experience teaching. But
mm.
let's start
Yeah.
with why do you think learning Go is so hard?
Um, because it's a difficult game. And yeah, it's so simple as that. And it's very, very easy to learn it, but it's very, very difficult to become strong. I think it's a lot of patterns uh, you have to know. You simply have to know. So it's not like yeah, like the modern arts. I have some ink in my hand. I just throw them on the how do you say that painting
Right.
clothes, and it's a painting. Nobody can say yeah if I like it's good. But on Go board it's not like that. Go board is I would say you can compare like the classic paintings. You really have to paint this guy's his eyes are shining. So that kind of technique
Mm.
on Go board is necessary. So people say oh, you have to do life and death problems or learn those shapes. That's the main reason because we have to learn those patterns and
Mm.
that is not easy because there are mountains of them. And nowadays people are busy. So if you, how to remember them is not easy at all. So other players play the few, see some programs play and okay, I'm going to try, but it doesn't work that way. So you really need to have this foundation.
Right. And I think the one thing, even with my teacher, sometimes she would teach me and she says, okay, in this game, in this situation, you do this. But it doesn't mean that the next game it'll be the exact same way. It might look same, but it's a different, like you might not even have, you might play a different move and it's very hard. And sometimes you forget.
This is the second thing. First thing is that all those patterns you have to learn, huh? And then secondly is because Go board is compared to other board games, so many variations and the situation changes all the time.
Right.
So a good move this moment can be a very bad move next moment. So the patterns you learned, the shapes you learn is necessary. After that, you apply them on the Go board and to see how different situation. How do you choose? How this is another thing we have to learn by playing and by review your own games or by a teacher to tell you, huh? And the third thing is that also the choice is the global thing. In this situation, should I fight or should I defend or should I build or should I destroy? So that's every game is different. There is no single game the same. So that makes it very difficult.
So you touched on it, and so especially now we can talk a little bit about your website because it's a recent thing, but I sort of want to know like how the way you've taught, how it's changed over time, because I think technology's changed, but also we have the websites and things like that. How do you think the way you've taught Go has changed maybe since you first started teaching or even maybe like 5 years ago? Like what approaches or what things have you thought about that made you change?
That also how by the time passing. I live in the West for a long time, right? So when I came to Europe, I started to teach Go right away, and I found it's people are so admire. Wow, that's great, and she knows so much. But they don't really learn. After a while, I found they are just look at me and how then they can't apply those things they learn from me on their Go board. So so I because in China I also helped my teacher to teach those school kids, Go school, very high class kids. They are already very strong. So you show them something very difficult. You don't have to say much, and they already know. Okay.
Right.
But in Western country, the Go players learn from books, and there is no teachers yell at behind them. So they often don't miss the basics. So if you miss basics, it's like you try to build a big building on a beach, right, on sand. You can build one floor, okay. But the second floor you already shaking, and third floor the house fall, right. So it's same as on Go board. So I figure, I cannot teach them here by the same method in China. In China, the children, you just dump things in their head. That's all. They understand or not, it doesn't matter because they're kids. Can remember them easily. But here, adult is different, right? This is the first thing I discovered. Second thing is the typical mistakes. These typical mistakes we don't see in when I was young, I was learning Go, because before you have this typical mistake, the teacher already killed you, right? There's a terrible shape. So you learn when you are a beginner. So, but here nobody's talking about. So the people playing the typical mistakes for all their Go life. So like when I start to talk about the typical mistakes, the students say, "Wow, I've been playing this for 30 years." Yeah, the same move. Oh, this is a mistake. Yeah, it's a mistake. Okay, so I approach to make my students stronger by not only teach them the correct things, but often it's the typical mistakes. So first of all, you don't play it, and secondly, for example, typical example. So you sit there. Okay, I have 1 hour. I'm going to learn 九 how difficult, and thoroughly I remember it. And then you go play, and then your opponent doesn't play that, and then he plays a typical mistake. In the end, your group got killed. So that's very frustrating, right?
Right.
So teaching is that now that's not only the correct things, but also how to punish your opponent if they don't follow. If they made the mistakes, how do you get them? So that is the second thing about my website. This is I must say, since I have this, especially the training system, this is become so much alive. So today is I can really, in my teaching career, I really dare to say, okay, you will improve. It doesn't matter how old you are, you will remember. Because we are using this spaced repetition training system. This is this modern learning technique, right?
Yeah, I'm actually really. It's interesting because I think the way I would say is, I think it's almost like the way they tried to do memorization for kids, for the traditional Chinese learning. It feels like that because you learn it and you repeat it over and over. It's just when you're a kid, you can repeat it that much more.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing because I think we've had this conversation at Go Congress, and I think I've had it with Yenan from China, where the question is memorization and how do you, and there's they always push memorization, but I think how you would want to teach a child, or how you would want to effectively memorize something needs to change. Do you think?
Yes, I think there's still a very big difference between a child remember things like me. If I learn some words, French words, for example, how do I remember them? One is repeating. So like okay, I will start from a little earlier. So about my website, so we have all those pro lectures. So it started like I teach, and students wow, that's wonderful. Actually, I say, why don't you just record them? And it's nice. I thought, okay. So but in the end, totally the idea changed. It becomes a giant teaching website. So we have the things from 30Q to 8 down this level, the lectures teaching the correct things and the typical mistakes, how to handle them. But then I have a problem is my students don't remember them. They watch lectures but then forget. So in their games they think, oh yeah, there was something Guo Juan talked about, but I forgot, right? So now we come to this spaced repetition system. It's 2 years ago, and few of my students, and they were, for example, I gave a name, Daryl Malik, and so and Rich and Becky, you probably know Becky, and they got so frustrated because they forgot, right? So they were talking about that, and so the about repeating, it's a different way to repeat. Because, for example, the children don't have to repeat so much because their head is empty, right? It's like wall on the white paper, right?
Yeah.
So you draw something, it's there. But for adults, you have too much in your head. So also the memory drop back. So But it's like if I read a book, if I have to, oh, I forgot, so I read it again, and from first page, it's very boring, right? You
Mm.
cannot do it. I cannot do it. So what the system is good is the most efficient way to repeat. So when the problem, the thing you almost forget, it jumps out.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to like you have a whole textbook. You only repeat the pages you almost forgot.
Right. Yeah.
So not you read this whole book again. No. So that makes a huge difference, And so now the students um, they really start to remember things and then they can apply them in their games. So I got a lot of good reactions, makes me very happy. So some other students who is 84 years old now, I think 83, almost 84.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, oh, finally I start to remember things. And so he said, oh, finally I start to, win games. And also I just got another letter. And he told me, he said, oh, I'm 63. And I feel I can really learn this game. So I have a lot of this kind of reactions that is a proof that this system works, right?
Yeah, I actually have someone in my club that I recommended to your website, and
Thank you very much.
well, he's learning all of it now, and sometimes I'll be like, "Do you know this?" Just like he's like, "Oh yeah, it was from a lecture." I was like, "Okay, I can't argue whether it's good or not, but it's good that
Yeah,
he's learning, and but I think that learning that is that's very useful. I think the thing I want to know about that is like, let's say we have this, or we have a teacher. I mean, what would you recommend from us, like for your students, if they wanted to learn with a teacher, how they should approach it, be it with your website or just how they should learn Go?
you mean my website or with me or with other teachers or in general?
In general, I would say.
In general, has a teacher that's really good. But as you say, well, not. I understand not so many people, able to have teacher, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or they don't have time, or they don't. It's too expensive. I understand. Like a private lesson is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have a teacher, sure, you still can learn. Of course, now I say, yeah, my website. So it's good. So we talk now without all the things. Just you don't have teacher, you are sitting there alone.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that case, to play a lot of games is good. But to play like a click, click, click too fast and without thinking is not good. So I tell people, you play games and after that you think a little bit about it. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
think a little bit. Where did you? And then you watch other people have stronger players online,
Mm-hmm.
or when you go to Congress or somewhere, there are strong players
Mm-hmm.
and how they play, right?
Right.
And learn shapes. The Joseki, I think it's really important. People say, yeah, Joseki is rubbish. You don't have to learn. No, that's wrong. I think it's very important because Joseki teaches you shapes. When you know the shapes on Go board, you become much, much stronger
Mm.
in fighting.
Right. Yeah,
Okay?
because the shapes, they repeat themselves even.
Yeah. For pro games, if you say, people saying nowadays, those young pros, Korean pros, Chinese and also Japanese young ones, and
Mm.
their game looks like crazy. No, they're not. Actually, if you look deeper into their games, they are very well trained basics.
Mm.
It's all the shapes, So that's why I think learning Joseki is a very, very good way to learn shapes. And then Tsumego. Tsumego is you learn the Tsumego, you do the Tsumego which you can solve, not the difficult ones, because that makes a very boring study.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you open the book. The things you can solve within a couple of minutes, that's fine. If you, after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you still start sitting there struggling, that's not a good level, okay?
Right. Right.
This is without teacher.
Hmm.
With teacher, of course, I think it's great. Yeah, it's great to have a teacher. Um, I can't say much about that because I think in the Western country now we have a lot of those teachers. I can name a few of them. Your teacher, Jenny, and Minju, all those, and Yilun in US. And now this what is this young girl?
Young An, the one in
The young girl just become she quit her job and become a Go teacher or something.
oh, Ming Ming.
Yeah, Mimi.
Oh yeah.
And then you have got many of them. I don't immediately list all the names. But anyway, all the teachers are great. In Europe, we have very good teachers.
Hmm.
Yeah, they are all very, very good, I think.
Yeah,
So any of them you follow?
like
I'm a teacher, so only thing advice is not try to pick up everything a teacher tells you.
hmm.
I think important is that you learn the teacher tells you which you understand, adopt your level.
Hmm.
I think if I'm a 5Q, and my teacher is telling me something A down, yeah, it's great, but it doesn't help me, right? I need to learn something the 5Q knows. You see,
Right.
this is the only thing. This also changing my teaching way is that I'm not. I always. That's why you saw my lectures when I'm at the Go Congress. A big group of people there. I always ask. Oh, how many 5 downs there? How many 3 downs there? Yeah, so 5 downs, and so in my head I have idea the level, so I adopt the level I teach.
Yeah, I think even sometimes I've talked with other people and I try to teach them, and sometimes like the 7 dan walk by and say, "Oh, here," and like I say that's a very good 7 dan move, but it's a very
Exactly.
dangerous like 5Q move.
Exactly. So I think all the Go teachers are wonderful, and also the strong players from Go clubs are really good. They are eager to teach the weaker ones.
Hmm.
But because we are so eager that we teach too much, that's actually not a good thing.
Right.
So each time a little bit, adopt this student's level. I think that's the better way. So as students, learn the things you say, that's wonderful, I can use it in my game. That kind of thing is very good.
So it's almost like even with like the tsumego, where you learn the things that are easy to you, and then the harder things that your teacher talked to, maybe you have to take time to learn those.
Yeah, when you get to that level, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
so when you choose things, materials to study,
Mm.
I would say the basics, even the little lower than your level is better.
Really?
Yeah, higher, yeah, yes,
Okay.
because that will build up the very strong base. That's more important for Western players.
Right. And I think these things, I think the other thing that I've learned even from coming with a teacher is that sometimes these things take time. I think when I learned from my teacher, she said this might take a long time because I had really bad foundations, like
Mm,
basic shapes and everything. So she says this is going to take time, and it's
mm,
very hard
mm,
to spend all that time, and like
mm.
it's very frustrating sometimes. But
Mm.
if
Yes, I understand. This is how we build this training system. So
oh
you
really? Yeah.
learn something on a website, the teachers teach you something, and
Mhm.
there is a group of exercises for you to do.
Mhm.
And it's not like Tsimego, you sit there 1 minute, 2 minutes to think. No, it's really just uh, memorizing also patterns. So in your game, you immediately see, this is a pattern. I know where to put my stone. So I think that using this one will help you really, really much. So to know those basics, you will
Definitely.
build up quite fast, I think.
Yeah, I started to realize that even when I used your website for that small period of time, because
Mhm.
like I started to really get used to okay, this pattern I've seen it and it feels more familiar now, and so
Yes.
I actually wanted to use that and supplement it with like learning from a teacher, so I had two different ways of learning. I got busy, so I didn't do it so much.
Yeah, so you can. I'm doing my my own website. I'm learning too,
Mm,
and I just yeah, very fast actually. I said they go like 30 problems.
mm-hmm,
I just need a couple of minutes,
mm-hmm,
not more than 10 minutes for these 30 problems. But for students, maybe it will take a little longer, but not much longer, you know. So the problems build up by like you can just shift, click, you know. So not like sitting there learning a lecture, not like that. So it's you don't need really much time. That's a good thing about it.
I see. And
Yeah.
so let's also talk about when people become pro and how they learn. And I think, because I mean, it's a famous thing. I don't think it's true anymore, but as they say, when you become a pro, you don't have a teacher anymore because everyone's a pro. But once you become pro, how do you learn? And also, well, let's start with there. Like, when you become a pro, do you still have teachers, or how do you learn? Do you just sit by yourself and study a lot, or what do you do typically?
Um, my time, when I become a pro, in the Go team, we have people stronger and they always review your games. So it's not a teacher from the Go school anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but the strong ones. Like when I come to Sanxi team and there's Mingju, he review a lot of my games. So he is my teacher that time, but it's not like official. It's just somebody in your team stronger. Like then I came to the national team. There are a lot of strong players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they review our games. But nowadays, that is changing. So the children, when they become a shodan,
Mm-hmm.
when they become one down, they still have teachers. The parents continuously hiring good teachers to review their games. Even they are very, very strong, still the teachers can show them a lot of things.
Really?
Yes, yes, yes. There are a lot of very good young pro teachers. I mean, the teachers older, my generation, teaching those young pros. Yes, they got their games reviewed. You know,
Hmm.
uh,
It was
still teachers. Yes.
It was actually surprising, even at like the Go Congress, I saw like Calvin's son get his game reviewed by Mingju,
Sure.
and it was
Yes.
interesting to see because I thought, well, like I don't
Yes.
know how different the rank is, or like how do they learn from each other?
Yes, so like if a good teacher, that the student, even student beat you, but it doesn't mean that student cannot learn from a good teacher. You know, the good teacher,
Oh,
yeah, they reviewing games. They are able to open your mind much more. You know.
I see.
Because when you look at the game, and when you know the students from distance, you can see the weakness from that game. Of course,
Oh,
not like, a modern Joseki probably the teacher doesn't know, right? The student knows more. But
right.
the global things, you know, the way of the flow of the game, the teacher can say very, very much. So like my teacher in the Go school, he was a two-down pro. So after 1.5 years, I started beat him. So he said, "Oh, she's beating me." But I was in the Go school for 4.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He continued. He continued to teach me, and I just learned. He was one of the best teachers. You see, so it's not that when you are beating your teacher, you cannot learn. So it's not like that.
I see. Yeah, I remember even there was a pro at the Boston Go Congress and for 2016, Yan An,
Yeah.
and like
Yes.
even with his students, he was
Yeah.
teaching more about like how you should feel, like your attitude and maybe like
Exactly.
your
Yeah,
emotion
that kind of
levels.
thing. Yeah, yes. It's not like when there's a cut and he cut you and the teacher die. That's certainly possible, but it's the attitude. Yes. How do you apply on Go board? How do you treat AI when you are playing these tournaments? All the things and global things, right?
I see. And
Yes.
I'm also curious, just because I feel like we typically learn when there's a stronger player. And now that there's AlphaGo, and I think the recent news is this program on I think Fox Weiqi called Master,
Yeah.
and with just computer learning, are we able to learn right now from all these computers, or is it still too early?
Um, for me, I didn't see master games. I saw some moves, but
Hmm.
not really studying it. Um, I did study AlphaGo against Lisetto
Hmm.
games and some games from Fanhui against AlphaGo.
Hmm.
I think for me it is too early to say to my students, okay, go ahead and learn from them because they are very, they are so strong. I think AlphaGo, if I may say my opinion, I think AlphaGo has a very strong judgment of the game. So he knows very well the game he's going to win or he's going to lose.
Hmm.
So that one, actually, for us to learn that it's very hard, right?
Mm.
So that to learn from those machines, I think to learn how they play differently, how they that's but I think a little too early for us to say, um, yeah, I know I'm just going to learn just from AlphaGo. I think that's too early, or from this Master Go. There is one thing I want to say. I'm going to have an article. No, I write game review once a month for eJournal,
Hmm.
AJ. And this month I am going to publish an article about AlphaGo move, one of the AlphaGo moves. Yeah, for teacher, we all know it's a typical mistake, but AlphaGo played there. So why? I try to tell why he played there. Is that good or not? I have some examples. So now I think for people, there is something we should be careful. Uh, says people says two things. Oh well, you can play anywhere. No, you cannot, right?
I
And
have heard that.
like,
People do
yeah,
say that.
because AlphaGo so strong, so we just play like AlphaGo. Then no, it's not. So we still have to come down and sit there, and learn the basics.
Hmm.
After that, we can talk. So AlphaGo's moves, they are good or not. It's just like Go games. Some good moves, in some case, is good, but some case is very bad, right?
Right, right.
So we have to understand them, not just because AlphaGo is strong. So every move is a god. No, it's not like that. That's dangerous because in that case, we don't really learn from it.
Yeah, I actually felt there's a because of what you said, and I think even talking with people who worked on AlphaGo and DeepMind, there's a difference between a good move and a move to win the game, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And I think because AlphaGo is playing moves to win the game, it's different than playing good moves or good like certain moves that are just that we can learn
Well,
from.
I think all the moves you can win the game are good moves.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true.
And so you play good moves to win, but AlphaGo play a move. He thinks that move will make him win. Yeah, that is a good move, right?
I
It's
see.
like bad shape, but you play an empty triangle. Yeah, sometimes the empty triangle, actually half of them are perfect, right?
That's true.
So yes, yeah, but AlphaGo has much faster calculation than your
Mm.
being. So as a machine, right? He doesn't get tired and there's no emotion, so he can very calmly sit there and think about is it. Yeah, so to compare all the games, which that a human being cannot do that, right?
That's true.
Yeah, he played even a lot of moves are from the old ancient games, So nowadays the children, they even including Lisetto, he's so busy in tournaments. There's no way to study all of them. They are
Mm.
mainly replay the modern games every day. There are so many games, right? But
Mm.
AlphaGo doesn't matter. He doesn't have to sleep, right? He just yeah, in the night we are sleeping.
He's
He's
memorizing
studying this,
games.
yeah, shusaku shue all the time. So, but I must say, I really admire this Google, this team, this AlphaGo. I met Acha. I think it's a great thing what they're doing there to promote this wonderful game. I really have not enough word to thank them.
Yeah, it's an exciting time, especially right
Yeah,
now.
it's very exciting time, and I believe we will have more. I hope we will have more players to learn this game. So as teacher, I just try to make them improve. That's just my goal, but
And
there is.
you have the website to teach them, so that's
Oh
even
yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. That's great. So talking about those people on the website, um, you know, they learn things on the website, and sometimes they come to me to take a private lesson, and I give them advice, and they go further. So they are really improving now. I'm very happy about that. So finally, after so many years teaching, teachers can teach you a lot of things. You remember and able to use it. That's another thing.
Yeah, I feel the same way even with my lessons. I can learn so many things, but sometimes like being able to use it or being able to remember it is a completely different thing. So having
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like the website is really useful. I mean,
yeah.
my teacher
Thank
used to
you.
say like if you don't learn it this time, you'll learn it next time. And if you don't learn it next time, you'll learn it the time after that. And like
Yeah,
it slowly does become even over lessons, like because I have the same bad habits, it becomes familiar, but actually having something like the website to support that is also really good.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's our goal. That's my goal. To get rid of those bad habits from your head, from your blood, and dump in the good stuff.
So on topic of learning the good stuff, I'm always curious with students and their teachers. Um, my teacher once said that she learned in a certain era. I think the era before her was a little bit more, I think, less about fighting, and then now her era was more about fighting, and I think the era after her, it's even more about fighting now. And I think, I mean, there are famous teachers, and then their students all end up becoming really famous. I think, like, Go had famous teachers and or famous students and things like that. And my question is, do students end up playing like their teachers? Like, if I chose a teacher that likes to fight, does that mean I'll end up being the same way where I like to fight as well? Or, like, do I have to be careful who I choose as my teacher? Because maybe I'll just end up playing like that style.
No, I don't think the students will end up like the teacher style. No, I think more is depending on your personal attitude, your personality, I would say.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's not depending on the teacher. About the fighting, if you want to win the game, you need to have the fighting technology, but you don't have to, to play overplay, which is not in your blood. So that I
Mm.
think it's very much depending on the player's personality. So, but from my teaching experience,
Mm.
um, for example, just like in Europe, when I teach French people or Dutch or German or US, UK, it's different. The French people are very, they are party, they cut. I said, well, this is overplay, and they say, so what? First cut, then we'll see, So it's a different mentality, the different attitude. So they are very outgoing people in the south, and they go to out and sit there and have a wine. So it's very different when in the people in the north, probably because of the weather or something. So they are much more how do you say that? It's not careful, but they're much more aware of what they are doing.
Mm.
So, of course, there are also people I call, like myself too, big fighter, just crazy and cut, and then,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to die or not. That we will see, So that's a different mentality. My teacher was not like that at all. So I
Oh.
think, yeah. So when I teach students, first So there are people come to on the website ask me, how do I improve? I said, well, I don't know. I need to know your game. I need
Mm,
to know your what kind of person you are. Then I can tell you. It's
mm,
not that yeah. If you hate those kind of craziness, I force you. It doesn't work.
right.
So I believe it's not the teacher's thing, it's the student's mentality. A good teacher, if you can adopt the student's
Mm-hmm.
mentality, I would say that's a very, very good teacher.
Right.
If
A
we
teacher that
force
can,
the students, yeah,
right.
if we force the students do something they don't feel comfortable, it's not good teaching, I believe.
Right. So does that mean like even when you said you like to fight, but your teacher didn't like to fight as much, would that always, did you have disagreements during the game review? Or like how did he, what would he
Yeah,
say?
he just for example, he in my go school, then there are quite a few teachers, and yeah, he was the one very strong basics and very calm, and so he how he told me is that he said to me, he said, I can see from 10 kilometers away you are winning or you are losing. So I said I'm a very impatient person. And I just simply cannot get to the end game because it tortures me. So he said, oh, you like to fight and decide. So he made me told me a lot of things to be able to finish the game before the end game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So he
because
was
I
able
think
to
it's the end
adapt.
game now. So
Right.
of course now there is the end game. People say, oh yeah, they will decide the end game. I agree, absolutely. But the end game is also about fighting. Huh? I like those big scale fighting. And so the big board fighting, I like that. And he found that. So he was teaching me, the big more fighting, how do you kill your opponent instead of how to run away, right?
Right.
I'm not very good at how to run away. For example, Children, I learned his games. He's super good in that.
Mm-hmm.
So he keeps his territory, and you have big territory, jumps in, and he run away. So, of course, that's another way to play, so that he's super strong in that. I'm super weak in that. So my teachers was trying to teach me how do I capture my opponent big groups more
Mm.
than how do I try to. So it's the mentality difference, the character.
So yeah, but that is true. Like you're saying, the teacher was able to see how you wanted to learn and was able to adapt how to teach you, which is really smart. That's really good.
Yeah, I think that's because that makes me happy, because I was not being forced. When you are happy, you have a motivate to go further, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If he was always yelling at me, this is overplay and that is terrible, and then I would be not happy, right? Yeah, he would say that's great, but the next time, go this way will be better.
Right. I see. And
Mm.
I think the last thing I sort of want to talk about is something I always feel when I look at game reviews, be it at Go Congress or if I get my own game reviewed. And it always seems like there's always just one good move. I think we talked about how when AlphaGo plays a move that wins this game, like
Mhm.
even if it's not the best move, but it still wins the game, it's still a good move. But I still wonder if like, is there typically just only one, like for board position, one good move in Go?
Mm, may I make a joke?
Okay.
I think if you are, if the player at such a high level, like AlphaGo, 里面的 all those 科技 also, then for them there are a lot of moves.
Hmm.
Okay, but for if I'm a 10Q, there's only one move.
Hmm.
So if I'm a 10Q, I just, this is the correct move I have to play here. And I cannot say, okay, there are 10 moves. I can. No, no. You have to learn the correct thing first. And there is only one move. Yes.
Hmm.
For often, there is only one. I would say. Yeah, that's why people say, yeah, you can play anywhere. That is for really high level. It's like artists, right? Oh, you are a photographer, right? You like
Hmm.
to take pictures. So when you come to a high level, any angle you take picture, you have a plan, a beautiful view of it, and you know you how you can handle it, right?
Mm-hmm. I see.
For me, if I have this stupid phone, I mean, just a little camera, if I
Mm.
can put having your face into the picture, it's good. And you have to press this person in that picture. So that is the only move
I see.
for me,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
But for you, you can do anything, any angle, the picture will be beautiful, right? So that's our level is right.
Ah, I see. So it is a question of like foundation, like the
Yeah,
basics, and then also
foundation.
just being able to, at what
Yeah.
level you're at, what you can choose from.
Yes, you have to have the foundation to be able to make the judgment.
I see. I think, yeah, and learning the foundation, I think, is really the most important thing.
Oh yeah,
I
yes,
think, yeah, even just everybody I've ever talked to, I think that I've talked about learning, it always comes back to just learning the basics and learning the foundation. And I think the hardest thing about that is it's hard to make it exciting or interesting to learn, and that's why I think the website you've made is pretty interesting about
thank you.
how
Yes,
it approaches that. Because otherwise, we just look at problems. Like I had this problem where I would look at life and death problems, and I
mm,
might learn something from it, but I never felt like I could use it, and
yeah,
that was really frustrating for me, and that's why I think the website you've made is interesting because it's like having life and death problems or reading problems or maybe just remembering the shape or just what the correct move is, but it's you're utilizing it in like games in a way that's interesting or that you can actually see how they're going to be used, which is
yes. So that's the that you will I gave you a, little story. That's very funny because one time I come to a tournament and there is a student and he's quite strong already and he ran to me with a very red face and so oh what happened and he said I got him. I got him. Whatever, I got him. So, and then I went to his board. He just was punishing his opponent, typical mistake. He said,
yeah.
"Oh, so he didn't know it. I know it, but yeah." So I have student here, even Daryl. So he play a game and then three corners. Three corners. His opponent plays typical mistakes. He just wiped them out off the board. It's it's fun. It's fun. He doesn't know it. I know.
Yeah, it is the typical mistakes thing is interesting because even at like a Dawn level, they still do that. I think,
Oh yeah.
especially
Oh yeah.
Western. There's
It's
so
going
many
up all
typical.
the way. Even I do it.
Well, it's
Yeah.
good to know that everyone makes mistakes and everyone's able to learn from them.
Oh yes, actually, not so long ago, I was working on the website, my website problem. And there's a student asking, "Hey, you play here?" And Youngsung is the Youngsung Yo, and she's a wonderful, wonderful teacher, and she lives in Germany,
Hmm.
uh, from Korea, and she taught that same shape and we different move, But I went there, oops. I've played my move all my life, but I think her move is much better. So that means I was making a mistake, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you do. Every level you make a mistake, that you think it's correct. So that's the typical mistake is everywhere, not only
Mm.
two pairs. No.
Yeah, and I think that's really good for everyone to hear because we always feel like, oh, like people that are stronger than you, they don't make mistakes or we're not able to see their mistakes. But to have that to know that people are making mistakes, I think it takes a lot of the pressure off. One of my favorite things I ever saw you do was you were teaching someone and then you did a cut or something. You did a really aggressive move, and the person you were reviewing like, really? And your response was, oh, it's just a game. And I think we all take it very seriously, but I think just being able to make it fun and make it interesting and different ways of learning makes it is like for most of us in the West and even people in China, it's just a game and it's good to find new ways to learn and like
Yeah,
make it fun.
but yes, but actually, talking about this is just a game. I realized a couple of years ago when I used to say this, well, it's just a game. I don't have to torture you. So when you make a wrong move or lose the game, actually now I found that is it's easy to say, because even a 30Q player, it's not a game. Because you want to win, right?
Right, right.
So I just want to say. Um, most of the pro teachers we would say, "Oh, this game don't be so serious." Now I would change my attitude
Oh,
a little bit because I think yes, it's if you can treat it just a game, that's wonderful. But very hard for people, anybody, to treat it just a game.
mm-hmm.
So to improve the basics, the foundation, to improve the shapes that will help you to win more games. When you win more games, then you will be happy. But of course, when you come to the next level, you will face this just a game question again. So we just try to improve and not sit there become depressed. That's not necessary.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, I see that a lot even at Go Congress and even with my own games. I can get really depressed about it. So,
Yeah. But there is one thing, I review some of your games, it doesn't matter. You are quite strong, even there are much weaker ones. If you look at the game, most of the moves you play are good. So be confident, So don't think, oh, every move I play is wrong. That's not correct.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
even my teacher
every
said
game,
that.
yeah, exactly. Believe yourself. Be confident. In each game, you pick up one or two important mistakes. That's all. The rest are good. No.
Cool.
Yeah, really true. Not every. If somebody much stronger than you say, this is a bad move. That is from a move one to move 100. So all bad moves. You just close your ear and walk away. Yeah, true. Right?
Cool. Well, I want to thank you again for talking with me. I feel like I learned a lot, and I think a lot of this is really good for everyone else to hear. Uh,
Thank you.
your website's what's your website's name? I'll post the link on YouTube, but I think it's guojuangoschool.com. Oh,
internetgoschool.com.
internet
Yeah. Yeah,
internetgoschool.com.
but Go Juan Go School, I think you also found it, but internetgoschool.com.
Yeah, I think it's the first one, right?
Yeah, and there is also when people register, then you can get a 1 month free trial.
Yeah, oh, I forgot. We need to talk about that. I think that's the most brilliant thing, by the way.
So the players get a 1 month free trial for the training system, so they can have access to all the problems. And we have about 10,000 problems now.
Yeah, it keeps increasing. I get emails from
Yeah,
you guys. I've added new
we
problems.
have,
I added new problems.
yes, we have more than 1,000 lectures,
Hmm.
and then these new registers they also get €5 to take to watch 5 lectures for free, and they
Mm,
can access all the problems. They can do problems to see how it works.
cool.
I
Well,
believe you will love it.
when I start studying again, I will definitely be using it again. But
Yes, yeah,
I I
you're.
definitely I definitely recommend a lot of people to go learn that just because I think sometimes just learning, you don't know where to start learning from, and you don't know, like, sort of if you're learning something, how to use it. And I think how you're teaching it is actually really, it's really new, I think, and it's really smart. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
But thank you again for doing this interview. And if you ever want to do another interview and you want to talk again, let me know, and we can talk about more things about learning and things like that.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Yeah, my goal is just to make everybody improve in the Western country. Okay, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And see you next time then.
Yep. All right, everybody
Happy
out.
New Year to
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Yep. And everybody out there, I don't know when the next episode's coming out, but I'll see you when the next episode comes out. So thanks, everybody.